Uh, so, how do you choose when it comes to transport how you're going to get somewhere? Do you use an application? I use Move It. Move It. Moovit. Move It. I use Move It. Because I'm always getting lost, so I use Move It. Does anybody else use anything else? I use Move It, and I also use Google. Um, so Google Maps. You use Google Maps. Okay. Has anybody else normally use? I use TripAdvisor, but it is for choosing restaurants. But for distance and the cost of how long it takes to get there, Move It, and Google Maps. I also use Uber. I also use Uber with the pandemic. So, what are the advantages of Move It compared to Google Maps? I think Move It is more practical. It shows you the buses, many bus examples, options. It shows me the metro. It says car. Um, if I can walk, it'll tell me that too. I think when you look on Google Maps, I get kind of lost. I don't know if don't know enough, but I think Move It is more practically better. Do you guys agree? I see Move It. I see what my route is, and but I'm always getting lost, so I have to use both together, Move It and Google Maps. Otherwise, I'll get lost. On movement, I will find out which bus I'm going to take, but in order to find out where I am and where I'm supposed to go, how to find the bus stop, I use I use Move It to find out which bus I should take, and for Google, I use Google to find the bus stop because I need to find the reference point that Move It told me. So that's why I use Google Maps. So what is the role of Google? So the benefit is that it has instant location. Move It does that, doesn't do that. They do, but Google, I think it's better. I don't know if it's the resources that it uses or the fact that it's a much bigger company. I think the Google resources are much better for these types of things. It's more precise. Perhaps Move It doesn't have so much precision. It'll tell you the time, and sometimes it already went by, or it gives you a time and it's late. Okay, sustainability. Has it at any time played a role in your what transportation you're going to use? Has sustainability been a point? Has it been a factor when it comes to this? I think depending on the distance, if you can walk, I think you are going to emit less pollutants. If you're on a car, if you're walking for 20 minutes, or if you're going to, take public transportation, you're going to emit less pollutants. Or, Mateus, can you hear us? Good, great. Um, so I think it started raining here and the internet had a problem. So when you are taking, do you always take the same when you're traveling? Do you use these applications to do the same, go to the same place? I, it, so for example, when it rains, everything stops in Sao Paulo. So I had the same problem. I would always have to look I would always leave at the same day, at the same time, same day. But I always have to check the app to make sure that I'm able to get my bus. There's always accidents, there are protests and things like that. You know, maybe I'll end up the car that I'm in, the Uber or the bus will have to go around